Welcome everyone to today's Alto Insider. Today we're going to give you a little bit of insight into what's happening with the rental market. We've got the team from Canopy with us. So we've got Lee and we've got Chris, and they're going to talk through some of their propositions. So our agenda today is what's happening currently in the letting market. How can Canopy help you close deals faster? We're going to take a little look at how we can start to embed some of those documents that Canopy supply into Alto and share those. I'm also going to discuss a new customer feedback initiative with you. And of course, we've got the Q&A panel, so feel free to submit any questions. And at the end, we start to answer those, and those that we don't, again, we're kind of get in contact and relate back that information. So we're going to kind of kick things off. We're going to kind of kick things off with a letting market update. So for those that tune into our monthly or bi-monthly sessions, you would have seen some of this data already, which is completed by our internal teams. But current trends at the moment is we are seeing that demand for rental homes is actually around about 20% lower at the moment. It started to drop off slightly. However, still 51% above the 5-year average. So we can see that it's kind of been constantly growing from 2019, obviously kind of spiking around those COVID periods where everyone was desperate to move, get gardens, move further out due to the work from home scenarios. Slight drop off, but again, still huge demand. So been complete growth, double-digit growth for like the last 18 months. Demand for rental home continues to be driven by multiple factors, and that's strength in the labour market, obviously new jobs being created as well. Immigration obviously having an impact on that also. So again, for every rental home, inundated with inquiries, which I'm sure, again, the team, Chris and Lee, will kind of share some of their feelings around what's happening in that space as well.
Are we, sorry, just to jump in, apologies. Are you sharing some slides? It's just me that can't see them, or is that?
We are sharing. Hopefully everyone can see it's being shared, but if not.
Yeah, I can't see it myself either.
All right, let's try again.
That's all right. I just thought I'd jump in, although everyone loves to
you talk
through. So there we go. Cheers, thanks, James.
Technical issues on the share scenario. So, yep. Again, I'll just kind of come back on that slide as it wasn't being seen. So, I say key factors here in the rental markets. Can you see that now, Lee and Chris? Everyone's seeing that. That's brilliant. Time spent in lettings. So how much time are you spending qualifying your leads? So again, on average, agents spend around 9 hours qualifying their leads at the moment. Viewings for each available property, around 13 prospective tenants registering per available property over the month. Obviously, with the market conditions, that's currently outstripping supply. So again, agents find they need a lot more properties on the market to meet those demands, which is going to kind of link me in now to Lee and Chris and into Canopy and how they can start to help you make sure that your applicants are of the greatest quality and speed up that time to move in. So I'm going to hand over now to both Lee and Chris.
Thanks, James. Appreciate that. So good morning, all. Before I hand over and pass the baton to Lee to run through some of the details, I just thought I'd jump in. So I'm Chris Hutchinson, CEO of Canopy, and I just wanted to give a quick high-level overview, really, of Canopy and what we're up to as a business before we kick off. So we entered this market with an ambition to leverage new technology in order to improve the process of ensuring that ultimately the right tenant gets into the right property, and also to make the whole process of letting a property a little bit easier for all of those involved, whether that was renters, landlords, and also letting agents. We knew the technology was there. It's been growing, and we're super keen to obviously adapt and take advantage of that new technology. We also know fundamentally that your landlords trust you to not just find them a tenant, but also to find them a trustworthy one who's likely to pay their rent on time and look after their assets ultimately while they live in the property. So rather than talking about technology and that being sort of a negative and thinking that machines are replacing people, that's definitely not what we've built. What we've built is a platform that uses the technology to get closer to the source of truth, so improving and reducing fraud, but also keeping a team of people. So we still have teams of people who are experts in reviewing edge cases, and they really dig into those edge cases when the need arises. Beyond that, we've been able to obviously leverage our new technology to become a market leader in pre-qualification. So Lee will walk through that a little bit more, but in today's market, as James just alluded to, it's an incredibly useful tool, and it's seamlessly integrated into our referencing and the referencing with Alto. So I guess I'm really proud of the approach that we've been taking, and also that it seems to be working. So we've grown hugely in the last 2 years, and I think scale is quite important to a number of you who might be looking for a new referencing provider. So we're now over 900 letting agent companies who use us daily for their referencing, and we have around 2 new agents join us every single day of the month. So it's something that seems to be really resonating with the wider community of letting agents, and landlords seem to be getting better tenants because of it. Really appreciate you taking the time to join the webinar, and with that, I'll pass you over to Lee to run you through the proposition.
Thanks, Chris, for the introduction. So yeah, I think it's worth just kind of looking at those stats a little bit deeper, really, and what that means to you as a letting agent, because the market's always competitive, but I don't think we've seen a competitive market quite like this, where the balance of supply and demand is so out of kilter. Renters are frustrated and they can't even secure viewings, never mind a property. You guys are inundated with queries. I think the stat there shared by James was 13 for every 1 query. We're hearing of agents having 20 plus. They get 1 property available, they're inundated with inquiries and leads, and that means that your time is really kind of spent trying to see, try and work out the wood through the trees and see where you should be investing your time. And yeah, around 9 hours estimated, trying to organize viewings, manage those leads to try and find the very best tenant. So we've got this, this kind of going on, this perfect storm of, shortage of properties, high demand, and, your time being kind of sucked in trying to identify the right tenants to spend your time with. Alongside that, we have the rents going up because of this imbalance between supply and demand, rents going up, other economic factors, cost of living, those household incomes being squeezed, if you like, which means we're seeing an increase in fraud as well, where tenants are having to over-egg their affordability to try and secure properties as well, to try and keep up with that, where wages haven't. So worryingly, it's not just trying to understand where you should spend your time, but there is also the risk there that's in the background, that if you do pick a tenant, are they going to be the right tenant? And could you be stuck down the line with someone not paying the rent and having to try and evict them? And we know the challenges around the court system at the moment and the backlogs there, and that could be very, very costly for you and your landlord. So yeah, I think it's just worth kind of drilling into those stats a little bit deeper to understand the ramifications and where I suppose our solution can kind of help you. So if we can go into that next slide, please, James, and we'll explain how, I suppose we've identified 2 areas where Canopy probably differ a lot to the competition, 2 key areas. And what we try to do is provide efficiencies within your business in this market, whilst also offering you more protection and giving you and your landlord confidence that when you get that tenant in the property, that you're going to be safe and you've got a good tenant and they're going to be paying their rent on time. So pre-qualification, Chris talked about how important we think it is, and particularly in today's market. And you might be already doing an element of this yourself. When an inquiry comes in, one of the negotiators or the team will be maybe asking a series of questions just to try and understand the renter's position and how suitable they are. So, what do they earn? Have they had any adverse credit? What are they looking for? A lot of those kind of common questions you may be asking, but that's sucking a lot of your time up, which we can do for you. So a number of our partners will let us do that pre-qualification piece. So there's a number of ways you can do it, but effectively, as soon as that inquiry comes in, you can have an automated response through Alto that will then say, great, thanks for your interest. Before we secure a viewing or proceed to viewing, we'd like to get a few more bits of information from you. And so a lot of renters will share that, those type of questions you're asking already, what they earn, have they got any adverse credit, what they're looking for. And so we drill into that for you and share that information back. And what we are seeing is that there is as much need for you for this as there is from an applicant or a renter, because as I alluded to earlier, securing a viewing is difficult in this market. So anything I can do as a renter to stand out from the crowd, jump that queue, I'm going to do so. And we're seeing around 23% of our renters, and we're working with the portals. So when the inquiries come in, we're saying, look, get yourself rent ready, get ahead of the crowd, a bit like an agreement in principle when you go for a mortgage. So a lot of those tenants are seeing the need in this. And again, the idea is to vet and weed out those applicants that aren't going to be good. So those that are willing and wanting to share that information, you can then shrink that pool of maybe 20, 13 inquiries down to maybe 4 or 5, proceed to a viewing, which is going to obviously save you a lot of time there. So helping you focus on those renters that are going to proceed to deal and most likely pass referencing, which also can be a saving on cost there. The other way we look at providing efficiencies is helping you close that deal faster. So if you think about it, you've already pre-qualified the tenant, you've took them to the property, they've viewed it, they're keen, they want to proceed, you've identified that renter you think's the best. And then in Alto, a few clicks of the button, you can then request the comprehensive reference or full reference. Now, the fact that they've already pre-qualified, we've already got a lot of the information. So just a few bits more information, we can then pull through the credit results and the credit file. We can verify their affordability and income. And if they've uploaded documents and whatever means of evidence, then we'll be able to verify that very quickly. Now, the key here is that having some of that information already up front means there's not a long form filling exercise for the renter. They're already halfway there. They can use our kind of technology of being a mobile first platform. It means that they can do this anywhere. So as soon as they get that request from you, they can do it in their lunch break at work. They can do it on the train home from work. They can do it if they're on holiday. They don't need to set some time aside to be at a desk with a scanner or photocopier to be able to fill out a reference with us. They can connect through open banking or other means, which we'll discuss in a bit more detail, to be able to show us that they earn the money they need to, and we'll be able to verify that very, very quickly within minutes. And we'll show you a little video a bit later on how that works for the tenant. So we're able to kind of get to that renter faster. There's less form filling on their side. They can do this wherever they are. But we've also got technology in there to provide faster outcomes. So if we speak about open banking in a bit more detail, but simply connecting their bank, if all the evidence is there, and Chris said, we get closer to that source of truth. If we're getting close to that source of truth, and we are, we've got 100% evidence that this is genuine transactional data, then actually we can verify income in minutes. And that means that our team are able to, as Chris mentioned there, invest their time on chasing employment references, landlord references, all those edge cases that are a little bit more complex. So it means we can kind of turn those references around as soon as possible for you. So that's how we save you time, how we provide more protection. There's a few different I suppose procedures that we've put in place or solutions that we offer. Now, open banking, for many of you on the call, you may be with a provider that started using open banking. We've been doing this for the last 4 years, and it's great. It's actually being adopted by the rest of the industry now because more and more tenants are familiar with it. And anything that's new, it takes a little bit of time for adoption. Now, actually, a lot of renters have used open banking more than once to verify income. And for those that aren't familiar with open banking, it's not very complex. It's just a tenant connecting their bank through a very secure permissioned access. And then we're able to see directly to the source there that, you know, if I work for Marks and Spencer's, I can see monthly transactions and salary payments going in for the last 12 months. I can also see rent payments going out of the account. So open banking is one of the key areas, one of the things we've been championing for many years, that really helps reduce that risk. And actually we have a good adoption rate because I think we explain the benefits to the tenant and our user journey, which you'll see shortly. But yeah, open banking is just one means. We have other areas that we look to help, because, you know, for example, not everyone might want to use open banking or can. So we've also looked to integrate with payroll providers. So I think it's estimated around 20 million employees through those payroll providers that we've integrated with can actually then connect and share information through their pay slips through, again, a secure permission access, and also HMRC. So if you're self-employed, again, rather than having to find those documentations, account statements, tax returns, and upload those, you can actually connect directly through HMRC, secure permission access, and we can then get direct to that source of truth. So open banking, payroll providers, HMRC, all of these areas means that we're not having to look at documents which can be fraudulent and manipulated. We see hundreds, and I'm sure you've heard of loads of cases where these have been tampered, and with the software that's out there today, they can be easily manipulated. So we try to get to the source of truth. Where we can't, and we have to look at a document, we then use artificial intelligence as well to look at that document. Okay, when was it created? Is there font changes? What software was used? And so again, that AI that we use there will also help weed out that fraud. So I think that's kind of the two kind of key areas, I suppose, that we really focus on, how we can provide efficiencies within your business, so you can streamline, find the very best tenant in the market and get that renter into that property, close deals faster, and also do it with confidence. So you know that tenant is going to be a good tenant when they move into that property. Okay, James, if we could kind of go to the next slide. What I'll do is give you a bit more information about our rent passport, or what you'll know as a reference. I mean, we call it a rent passport because, again, when we look to come into this market, we was looking at all of the pain points, and I think one of the frustrations for renters, and they're not moving as often as they used to, but one of those is every time you move, you have to start from scratch. It's a form-filling exercise. So the rental passport concept is the idea of a digital rental profile that moves with you, a bit like a LinkedIn profile. So you can take that with you to the next property. If you miss out on a property, actually, you just have to update some information, and you can connect with the agent and share that reference up front. So the rent passport concept is kind of what we call it, but it is at heart everything that you would expect a reference and expect to see in a reference. So things like an Experian credit file. So we'll pull that through, and you'll see in the demo how quickly the renter can share that information. Any adverse credits, CCJs, IVAs, that will be surfaced. We'll verify identity, not only through Experian, but using biometric artificial intelligence. So using their mobile device, they'll be able to scan their document paper, whether it's passport or driver's license. They'll be asked to do a selfie. We'll do a liveness test. We'll scan holograms and make sure they are who they say they are. And we do that across 191 countries. And a combination of these things will form part of that AML and KYC, which you're obliged to do. We'll verify income and affordability in some of the means we've discussed. We also look at rental data. So where they've connected through open banking, again, getting closer to that source of truth. We can get landlord references, but I'm sure everyone out there has had a landlord who just wants to get rid of a tenant. So they'll say he's a good tenant because they want to get him out. But actually, if we can see transactional data, those rental payments going out month in, month out, that's going to give us a lot of confidence, and your landlord a lot of confidence. So using data alongside some of the more traditional means of the landlord reference and the employment reference really gives us a much more robust case for you. So yeah, hopefully that's everything you would expect. Now, there are a few other additional services. If we can go to the next slide, James, I'll just share some of these just high level. If there's more information on these, again, come to us direct and we can dig into it in a little bit more detail. But we'll do a right to rent check as well. We can do that through our platform. We do guarantor references, as you would expect. If you do company lets, we do company risk reports, and we also have our own insurance and rent legal protection. There's a few there that you can also benefit from. So again, just more of an FYI, other things that we do, but we won't focus too much and dwell on it too much because we can get too much into the detail here. So come and reach out to us, and we'll share a little bit more on this. Okay then, James. Let's just quickly, before we show you the video, tell you a little bit about Canopy HQ, because the way the integration is set up at the moment is that everything happens through Alto, so you can be triggered very quickly with just a few clicks of a button. You can request that reference through Alto, and then we will keep you updated on how it's going. So we'll create you a Canopy HQ account. So if you want to kind of come in and check how it's going, you can do. We have other functionalities in our platform that you might want to benefit from, like live chat. So if you want to speak directly to one of the team, you can do. But we'll supply you with real-time updates. You'll get email alerts to let you know how it's going. So you can then click on that alert and come in and see what's going on. The idea is that we will be doing a second phase integration that will pull all this information in as well. But the partners that have already joined, Alto users that are already using the platform really well, have found it very simple. And actually quite like the fact that they've got the account there if they want to use it. But with the Canopy HQ account, you get all of that support. So we've got two channels, the renter support team and the agent support team. So if there is a renter, and you'll see through the video, hopefully, how simple it is, but if there's a renter that is struggling for whatever reason and they need a little bit more support, then put them in touch with us, send them to us. We will handhold them through the process if needs be, but hopefully you'll see how simple and straightforward it is to use our platform. So yeah, I think if we go on to the next slide, that might be the video. So if you want to play this will hopefully kind of join up some of the gaps and give you a bit of a feel for the product.
I think what we're going to do today is, as we're a little bit short on time, we're going to send the video out, Lee, to everybody.
Okay.
So just to make everyone aware, we will send out a copy of this recording. We will send out the video to everyone as well. So I say we're into the last kind of 4 minutes. So a really good kind of overview there of everything that Canopy is covering and talking about. Like I say, in our follow-up, everyone will have the ability to go and view that video and see how simple those processes are. So if I just come back to you, I believe this is now the document that's provided.
Yeah. I won't dwell on this too much, but I think this is just to give everyone an idea of what the report looks like, so what they get back at the end of it. So it's a very detailed report which tells you, what we found, what's been verified. So you'll see kind of address history, you'll see where they fall on the credit indicator, you'll see if there is any adverse credit there, it will be surfaced, how much, is it satisfied, is it active? And if you click to the next slide, they'll see also transactional data. So where we've got down here, they're in full-time employment, those transactions that have that income that's gone in over the last 12 months. So you'll see those patterns of behavior. You'll see the rental payments on the right hand side there going out, and then you'll get those employment landlord references, which is that kind of rubber stamping where we've spoken with those guys and kind of cross-checked the information the renter's given us to make sure there's no anomalies and no one's trying to fraud the system. But yeah, I'll leave it there because I know we're pushed on time, but the video is worth watching when they get a chance.
We'll get that all sent out. I'm just going to pop up a quick poll as well for everyone. So anyone that's interested in hearing from the team at Canopy, on your screen, you can obviously say, yes, we'd like to get some more information, as well as us sending out that video and the slide today. If you're not quite ready, again, let us know. Likewise, if you don't want to hear from us. So I'll just pop that there for a few seconds. Give an opportunity to fill that in.
Shall I just quickly answer the question that just came through? So thanks, Jason. So how does billing work? Jason's currently with Vouch, and they have to buy monthly credits, which is something we knew that Vouch have moved on to. So with us, it's pretty simple, actually. There's no setup fee, no monthly minimum commitment. Invoicing is done at the end of the month for the number of references. Super simple, whether that's one reference, no references, or 100 references. would be exactly the same methodology.
Excellent. So we've got the poll. I'm going to close that now. I say, Chris, Lee, thanks. That's really great information on Canopy, how it's streamlining that market, finding those best rental tenants, and also carrying that information with them, isn't it, through the life and journey of their tenancies and their property finding. I'm just going to now quickly, I know we're really short on time, but just obviously talk a little bit about Alto and also that document that you were providing. Currently, our integration at the moment will share all the information with your tenants and vouch. Sorry, not vouch, because we mentioned I said Canopy rather than vouch. So
ideally Canopy rather than vouch.
Yeah, no, ideally Canopy. Throwing out from the question I was reading there. Share it with Canopy. And likewise, you can then take that document that is provided and upload that into Alto. Again, we'll show you very quickly how simple that is and how we can share that then on Property File. In later iterations, that document will come back into Alto from Canopy direct as we continue to build on our integration there. But don't forget, you can use Alto for tracking all of your deals, your rental progression, and I'm also going to show you a couple of updates to the new property journey that we've made as well. So very quickly in this last minute, let's just start to come back into Alto. So here I've got the document that's been provided by Canopy. If I head into Alto and into the tenancy, what we can now do is we can head into the document section where we can upload that document. So I can select, I can either drag or drop that, or I can go and search for that document in my folder. Once that's been uploaded, that will now live in my document section here. I can name that. I can now share that, whether that be with tenant or landlord. Of course, in this document section, you can look at the tile view, or you can move to a list view to start sharing, or order these in date or document name. If I now head over to Property File and into my tenancy, I can now start to see all the documents that have been shared, whether that be with tenant or landlord. So again, just simplifying the process, giving that transparency between agent, tenant, and landlord. We also just want to highlight some changes that we've made in our new Add a Property journey. So all those that have started to use now the new journey, if I now go and search for a potential landlord and try the new experience, here I can start searching for addresses. This will use UK PRN data to look up that property, select it, and will now provide for me valuation estimates. It will provide bedroom, bathroom information, tenure information, EPC information. We're also now including Google Maps, images of that property, as well as including floor space. And of course, if we were to now save this property, it will put that data straight back into Alto. And for the eagle-eyed of you, you may have noticed that we've now got a new customer feedback initiative. So we've now got a pop-up in Alto that's asking you key areas and giving you the ability to vote on new functionality in Alto or improving functionality in Alto. So as you see now the pop-up vote for improvements, if you head into there, you'll see some of the areas that we want to start focusing on, giving you the opportunity to vote on those areas. Again, once we see the ones that are at the have the highest amount of points, there be focuses that we start to build into our roadmap and updates within the platform as well. Very quickly, as I know we're just over time, just going to do a little bit of Q&A because I had a couple of questions coming through, which I feel are quite important. But from Bill, again, to Lee and Chris, what training and support do you offer?
Yeah, so well, full training support. So once we know they're interested, we'll set up an appointment with one of our team. One of the account managers will give you full training on Canopy HQ, and you can reach out. We'll give you all the relevant support channels, renter support, agent support. There's telephone numbers. You can chat. Use the chat function. So yeah, we're there to help you every step of the way.
Brilliant. And then one more. How fast is the referencing process?
It will vary, as I'm sure a lot of letting agents know, but the process is really, if we have someone that connects with open banking, all the right information, a tenant that's supplying that information quickly, we can reference someone within the hour. On average, it's about 48 hours. That's our average turnaround. But it will vary on those employment landlords. Some will go over, and some will be far quicker. But on average, I would say around 48 hours.
Brilliant. I want to thank Chris and Lee for their time today. Some really great insights on how Canopy works, how that can integrate into Alto, the level of information that you're providing, and all those different services as well. We will send out, as explained earlier, the video and the slide deck and a copy of today's recording. Otherwise, look out for us on our next Insider on the 30th of November. And then we've got a bonus Insider on the 7th of December, looking at our top and favorite tips and features in Alto. So thanks, guys, for the time. Sorry we slightly overrun. Hopefully that was really useful and gave you lots of insight.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And thanks, James and Bex, for running. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you very much, everybody.